Hello, ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here with just a quick recap for the Bethesda E3 conference. I didn't cover EA because I don't care about EA, and I still have a very bad taste in my mouth about it. But covering Bethesda, we're going to do Bethesda. So I've done just a quick run-through recap of the entire event. I'll give a little bit of thoughts and opinions on, what I saw, what I'm interested in, if anything, and, just a general run-through of the conference. First off, a lot of respect for Bethesda for the rainbow pins and the changing the icon. For those of you who are not in the U.S., huge tragedy in Florida today, and I have to say, respect to Bethesda for acknowledging that that terrible thing happened. So yeah. Respect to Bethesda for that. So let's talk about the event itself. First off, they talked about Dishonored, and then they came back and wrapped around Dishonored to the end, so we'll deal with Dishonored at the end. Moving on to the next thing that they did was Quake. And you know what? I can dig it. I love Quake. Quake 3 Arena, one of my favorite games. Not as high up as like Unreal Tournament 2004, but Quake was a fun game. It's a great multiplayer game. I actually spent more time on the Dreamcast version than pretty much anything else, and that kind of probably paints a picture of me as a gamer, so I can dig it. More Quake, and they're going to show off more at QuakeCon, so we'll get to see more in the near future. Elder Scrolls card game. I like card games, but they didn't show enough of it for me to actually kind of get a feel for it. And card games are one of those that I either really latch onto or I just don't care about. So I'm going to look into this one a little bit more and see how I feel about that. It is based off the Elder Scrolls universe, so it's like I don't know a ton of the lore and the backstory, so it's going to be a little interesting to jump into that. But I have a feeling it's probably not going to, for me at least, be able to compete with something like Hearthstone or, an actual physical card game that I so sorely miss. I miss playing physical card games. It's just such a different atmosphere than digital card games. But anyway, it looked interesting, so I'm going to look into that one a little bit more before I make a snap judgment on that one. Let's see, next up we've got Fallout 4 add-ons, a whole bunch of stuff. You can make machines and Rube Goldberg devices and things like that, because, that's so what needs to be done in Fallout 4. Fallout 4, the Fallout games, the Elder Scrolls games, these huge open world games, already had way too much to do, and now we're just making it ridiculous, because now I can see, a Rube Goldberg device in Fallout 4 that, it like goes over the entirety of the world. It's just like, a ball rolling down a track here and hits something, and it's like Mousetrap, but on like an entire Fallout global scale, and it's going to go all the way around, and the last thing it's going to do is like shoot the player in the face or something. I don't know. But I can see someone taking the time to make that, because if you give the players this option, it's going to happen. And so I look forward to seeing that. Plus, I enjoy Fallout 4. I thought it was fun. So anything more to that, I'm going to look into. Next up, we have Skyrim Special Edition. Lots of new graphical filters, lots of new shaders, lighting effects, particle effects, things like that. So if you didn't think Skyrim was pretty enough before and you kind of just held off on it, I haven't picked up a copy of Skyrim yet myself. Might as well pick up the Special Edition because, hey, it's going to be prettier. Much prettier. So, yeah, that's a thing. And it's going to be, like they showed, a whole bunch of different things. So, mazel tov for that. Next up, the studio that made Dishonored, Arcane Studios, is doing a new game, and this is kind of a psychological thriller type thing. It looks like a cross between Dishonored and Dead Space to me. It was very, very mind trippy. It's gonna go for some jump scares and also kind of messing with your head a little bit of what's real, what's part of the game story, what are they throwing you as curveballs. So looked interesting. Not my cup of tea as far as games are concerned, but it's got a lot of polish to it. I have to say, the folks at Arcane are, at least showing polished videos. If the gameplay stays the same as the video content released, very very impressive. Very impressive. Let's see, what else? Doom snap map updates and game modes and DLC. They updates to the snap maps where you can make like your own single player experiences, do custom maps, all sorts of things, new filters to add like the hell modes and things like that. New game modes for multiplayer, so they've got several coming out throughout the summer. So they've got 2 coming up soon, and I think they said 3 coming up by the end of the summer. So a lot of new game modes, things like capture the flag type, deathmatch, things like that. And then their first DLC pack that they talked about. I didn't quite catch all of the information on the DLC pack, so I'm kind of interested in to see what they're going to do, considering Doom is fairly young. It's only been out for maybe a couple of months at most. So I'm really intrigued by that, and one of those because DLC is a double-edged sword in the gaming community. It's either people view it as you took time away from the main game to make this extra thing that you're going to have to charge us for, or like, why didn't they just put this in the main game, or like there's a lot of things to it, but I'm again gonna hold off judgment until I have more facts. So. And then Elder Scrolls Online, a whole bunch of stuff about Elder Scrolls Online, recap about number of accounts and things like that, and the Japanese launch that's coming up, and they've got a new quest for Dark Brotherhood, which was the quest in Oblivion that they're bringing back, and then they're doing this thing with level restrictions where they remove the level restrictions so you can party up with people to do higher level content, which sounds interesting and weird. They said that it was the first one to do this, and I'm kind of wanting to see a little bit more on it, because other MMOs have done it kind of differently, like they have higher level people be able to restrict downward, or just like an instant level up to a certain level based off of getting a class or things like that. So I'm curious to see how this works, to hear how this is the first one that's done this. So but all in all, Elder Scrolls Online, I've spent 0 time with, so if you are an MMO fan, this might, draw you into a new MMO, perhaps, maybe. But I mean, I know MMO fans are, like, I still don't play any other MMOs other than Final Fantasy XI, and I don't even play Final Fantasy XI anymore. Because it's one of those, you have this undying loyalty. It's like, no, I refuse. I spent years of my life in no. So, I can see probably not going to draw on a ton of new people, but never know. Then they talked about the Bethesda VR, which this is actually something that I'm really interested in, because I've gotten a chance to play with VR a little bit. One of the demo units is at my local Microsoft store, so it's like I've gotten a chance to taste VR, and it's one of those things, like, I can see it having a lot of potential depending on which way it goes. And they've said that they're going to bring Doom and Fallout 4 to their VR system, and that Fallout 4 will be available on the HTC Vive in 2017. So, and the unit that I got a chance to experience was the HTC Vive, so I'm really excited to see what they're going to be able to do. I know it's going to boil down to how the game actually controls, because it's a different experience. How it's going to control is really going to kind of make or break the experience for me. Like, if I have to stand up the entire time I'm playing, it's going to have a little bit of a detrimental effect, because Fallout's one of the things you can play for a really long time. Standing for that long, having to move, I see it could garner a lot of the same problems that people got mad about the Wii motion controls of, sometimes you just want to sit and play a game. But like I said, VR, interesting concept. I think it has a lot of potential, and Bethesda has, they like to try to take advantage of potential. So I'm curious as to what's going to happen with this. And like I said, they started the conference and ended the conference with Dishonored. They showed a lot more stuff in-game, showing off, things about how the quest system works, the one of 2 playable characters, how the story influences, and how it's very hard for 2 people to have the exact same experience because of, different play styles and just different outcomes and different ways to reach said outcomes. So they spend a lot of time showing off the gameplay of Dishonored 2. And I'll be honest, I didn't spend a lot of time with Dishonored 1. I have a lot of friends who just loved the game just raved about it. So I'm actually going to go back and give Dishonored one more time to, sit and enjoy, to see if that builds up hype for Dishonored 2, because what they showed off, not an unimpressive game. But since, again, I didn't spend a lot of time with Dishonored 1, I don't know a lot about, how much hype should I have for this? Like, how much should I care about this? So, I'm going to go play Dishonored 1, maybe see what all the fuss is about, and see if Dishonored 2 is as much of a improvement as it seems to be, and as what a lot of people are saying it already is. So, that's Bethesda's conference in a nutshell. I did an hour conference in 10 minutes. So, let me know your thoughts and feelings on the Bethesda conference. Was there a game there that they showed that you were just fanatical about, or did they skip? Like, were you expecting something else? Like, were you hoping for some game that they have mentioned in passing on the back burner and haven't talked about yet? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about it. I want to hear how this E3 is shaping up for you all so far. Because for me, like I said, we've had 2 conferences today. I've only really paid attention to one, and it's not a bad conference, but so far I'm really missing the E3 hype from years past. So hopefully tomorrow kicks it into high gear. So I will see you guys for the next E3 conferences tomorrow. So I'll do a video for each conference like I am thus far. So I will see you then. Stay tuned, because it's going to be fun, because it's E3. So later, everyone.